All right, welcome back to episode 7 of the Boston Mandate. Back again here, quick. We had played a couple series, one against the Rangers and one against the Toronto Blue Jays to continue our forward momentum here in the month of June. We did lose 2 of 3 against the Rangers, but then did sweep the Blue Jays. So again, the momentum is shifting in the right direction for this team to be, a positive 9 on the win column here in the month of June. So we're definitely taking advantage of the opportunity that was in front of us to try to get back in the race. The team does now have a secured wild card spot in the wild card race at this point. So we've secured our spot there to have a playoff position currently. We'll see if that continues to play out positively in the next few weeks. But we did have a really nice series against the Blue Jays to knock them, to beat them in 3 at home, which was also great to see. We now go on the road against Seattle and the Rockies, which for the real life Red Sox was a tough series, both against Seattle and the Rockies, where they got swept. And then we'll head off to play the Yankees, and then we'll finish off the month of June with a series against the Nationals as well, or a couple games of that first set to finish off the month of June. So that's where I'd really like to get, is probably to end that series against the Nationals, get ourselves to set up for the 4th of July weekend. We'll have the draft coming up in July as well, and then really at that point kind of want to figure out where this team really is set to be for 2026, because again, there are some really interesting position players that could be some trade chips this year if we do fall out of contention. But at this point, you got to kind of make a run for it. The pitching staff definitely could get you a World Series or push you in contention for a pretty deep playoff run. The way the pitching staff has been, obviously the offense has been a little bit something to be desired, but there has been some really solid pitching out of this staff. Cutter Crawford obviously has been great since he's come back from the injury to pitch really well, and we're getting some really good starts out of Early and Tolley, our 2 young left-handed pitching prospects. So it's been all good things. We're going to take a quick look at what I'd like to see. The Seattle series. Here we go. And again, lots of scouting reports continuing to come in because of the work that we had put Tom McNamara up for. But you can see against this series, we have Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and Brian Wu up on the docket. Again, they have a good pitching staff as well. Their starting staff is very solid. Obviously, they got the stud center fielder in Julio Rodriguez as well, a good closer, good reliever, Matt Brash, good lefty arm out of the pen as well. I believe he's a lefty. Should probably double check that. No, he throws right. I always thought he threw a left, but he is a right-handed reliever and is a good one at that, with the good stamina. So, man, it's a super stopper right there if I've ever seen one. So it's not going to be an easy series. I want to take a quick look as to where Seattle is in the standings. I think they are struggling a bit. They are 12 games under 500. They're 2-8 in their last 10. We're 7-3 in our last 10 with the current 3-game winning streak. So we have some forward momentum into this. But we are traveling, across the West Coast here to face this team. So we'll have to see what we can get out of it. I did want to take a quick look at just sorting by WRC plus. Wanted to see the guys on the team that have are performing well offensively. Obviously, Contreras is having a really solid year. Andrew Monasterio, not an everyday starter, but has a positive 120 or a 129 WRC. So we're getting some offense out of him. He's not probably an awesome defensive third baseman, as you can see, 55. Can hold the position, but again is not, probably not a plus type of third baseman, but if we can get some bat potential, is excellent. Obviously, Williers having a good year as well. Roman is now a plus 109, so he's a positive offensive player, above league average, which is excellent because he does bring a good glove for us. We do have, obviously, Duran has struggled. He's now kind of, in a sense, a bench piece. So we really got to think about, what we might want to do with him, because I don't think he's going to be overly happy. His current role on the team, he's happy in that regard. I just don't know if that's going to hold true too much longer. He does have, a pretty legit contract through this year, so he wouldn't be hard to move from a money perspective, because it's not like he's signed long term. So we'll have to see. But again, let's dive into this series. Let's get through this West Coast trip and see how we fare out on the West Coast. First game against Seattle, a loss in 13 innings, rough. So the pitching staff, held serve as long as it could, but broke in the 13th inning. And what's unfortunate with a game like this is just the fact that we wasted a really solid start by Connolly early, 8 strong. Chapman obviously got us through an inning to set the stage, and then we had to use Whitlock for 2 1/3, upon which he struck out 5 guys. So pitched awesome, and then we, at that point we've kind of used up kind of the top tier of our bullpen, and then we kind of chip away, and we brought in Klum, who kind of blew up there in the 13th inning. Unfortunately, Garver came in to hit a 3-run home run, so that's a little bit of a challenge. Obviously, Logan Gilbert, so it was really the pitching duel early, and Gilbert just matched each other pitch for pitch, with Logan Gilbert striking out 11 in 8 1/3. And then you can see these two pitching, 2 of their top 5 players showed up right off the bat, with Munoz throwing 2 2/3. He only had to throw 27 pitches, so that's pretty efficient to get through almost 3 innings on not even 30 pitches. And then Brash through 2 innings. He had to throw a few more pitches, but same result, didn't give up, just 1 hit and a walk, so pitched well in relief to get his 4th win of the year. So a rough start for us there. It would have been really nice to win a game like that. It's to lose a game like that is tough when you have to use up, your stud bullpen, because now we got to be throwing. If we get a chance to save a game here in this one, you're bringing Chapman back out for another go of it, and obviously Whitlock throwing 2+ innings. He's probably unavailable for today. A 4-2 win, excellent. So we have another trade offer. We'll take a look at that in a second. I first want to take a look at this box score. 4-2 win. We scored 3 in the second, excellent. So we kind of carried the lead, had the lead early, and carried it the whole way through the game, so we never trailed, which was excellent. Meyer with an error, his 4th of the year. Again, I think we're going to see that here and there. Again, he's really going to have to develop into that position at short. His glove there is not probably at the full potential of where it can be. So we'll probably have to spend a little bit of time in the offseason just to have him spend some time really honing in the defense there at short, if that's where we really want him to play long term. And his bat, hasn't been awesome in that spot. But again, I think he's a good option currently to be our everyday shortstop. Connor Fleffa started at second, moved over to third late because we brought in Sogard as a defensive position late in the game, which I don't mind those moves. Kind of 7th, 8th inning, we got a lead. If we want to make some defensive alignment, position adjustments to secure things, that's excellent. And obviously here you got Rafaela being Hoover sit-in. Rafaela is with an outfield assist to pick off or gun down Mitch Garver, who's not, in any sense of the word, a speedy guy, I'm sure. Actually, his speed isn't horrible. 45 for a catcher. Sometimes those guys can be pretty slow, but he is by no means, ridiculously slow by standards of the rating scale. Roman Anthony 2 hits, Monasterio 2 hits with 3 ribbies, so he did a lot of the damage for us with the home run there in the 2nd inning, which set us up to kind of carry that lead going forward. And Narvaez hit a home run as well, so a couple bit of some power out of the team in this one. Obviously, Tolley pitched really well. Ryan Watson, Chapman, and then Whitlock picked up the save. So Whitlock is probably now with two kind of back-to-back days of pitching. He's probably completely unavailable as we move forward into this the rubber game. We're going to take a look at that trade after the series wraps. We got plenty of time to think about that trade offer. I'm not even sure what the details are at this point. Let's see if we can win this series. We go Sunday. Got a game save. And we do. Very interesting. So a couple things have now transpired from an ownership perspective. So when we first took the team over, the ownership view was neutral. It wasn't hey, this team is really bad. It was probably too early in the year for the game, the ownership management office at that point to say, hey, let's sell or rebuild in a sense. So it was neutral. It wasn't a focus on, selling off current value players in the organization that have, tradable contracts to get some more prospects in-house or kind of some lateral moves within the pitching staff or the lineup. And it wasn't a win-now situation because the team was dead last in the American League East. But now, because the team has been on a bit of a run, we were winning series. We've only lost one series the entire month. John Henry now, has said, let's go win. So it's a very interesting pivot to his focus, to where he's probably not going to love us if we would trade Sonny Gray, trade an Abreu or a Contreras. Like, he's going to think, why would you do that in the position that you're now in to be in contention, a couple games above 500, and all this momentum is now being built to make a deeper run July and August. We got a lot of time, and we really got a month probably before we'd have to really think about what we want to do for this year, and even the setting the stage, if you will, for 2027. So there is some time to be thinking about those things. And just taking a look at this box score, I want to see how things netted out. It was 1-0, 1-1, and we scored a couple runs in the 7th and the 8th, a run apiece to get us a W. So the pitching staff kind of held. Sonny Gray only threw 5 innings. I wonder why he came out early. He was hurt while pitching. That's not great. So Sonny got hurt. Pending leg. I wonder if he took a line drive off a leg. I'm just worried it could be like a hamstring type of thing. But that is not ideal at all. We'll see what that report comes back. But that set us up to really, we had to use the bullpen. We didn't have Whitlock available, and we probably weren't going to we didn't use Chapman, which makes sense because he pitched 2 days in a row as well. So the team, Weiser came in, pitched 2 excellent innings. Slayton got a hold as well. And then we brought in Danny Colomb, which an interesting choice probably there, but he pitched really well in an inning and a third to pick up a save for him. So that worked out really well. But we'll take it. We'll take series wins however we can get them. Again, the offense wasn't anything excellent in a sense at that point. Let's take a quick look at this trade offer. Oh, Texas Rangers will send us a 17-year-old minor leaguer, so somebody who's a mile away. He's a right fielder. Defensively, it's not awesome defense. 6'3", 195, bats right. Power potential is nothing great. It's a bit of a slappier bat. Personality class is unknown, but he's high leader, high loyalty, low financial ambition, but doesn't have high baseball IQ. It's pretty low baseball IQ. Taking a look at his stats here, he's got a 137 WRC plus down there. The bat does have some decent potential to be at least, there's something there. Not, it's nothing that like super stands out in a sense. And then let's see, Hector was more of a defensive player here, has an eye, not much power, a 21-year-old. He's a lefty bat, 6 foot 150, so a pretty tiny guy. And then 30-year-old minor leaguer Matt Lloyd. So I mean, here you got a guy, can play a decent first base, can even play a corner outfield spot. In all honesty, not a horrible bat, has a super high work ethic, but again, the guy is 30. So they might be looking at somebody like this as just, hey, we need some, a little bit of help. Again, I think this trade, in all honesty, for our team, I think this kind of makes sense. I think I'm getting a little bit of a better bat in this Jesus Chavez fella, even though, again, he's a mile away. I like the right-handed bat in thinking about Fenway. His power doesn't have a ton of power, which is interesting. I like his personality. I like the personality of the 30-year-old too, just from the standpoint of having a guy like that. Yeah, down in AAA, he's 30, but still giving a solid day's work here, like every day, day in and day out. So you gotta love that about the guy. But I think this is another deal. I think we're gonna pull the trigger on it. I just want to take a quick look at the personality profile. Nothing really stands out for Hector. He does have a bit of speed. He's got a stealing ability of 70. But it's not, he's a good base runner. He can steal bags. Like, he has the ability to steal bags, and he's a pretty, like, a little bit above average. So he might just be smart on the base pass. But I wouldn't call this guy a center fielder just because, yeah, I guess he's got, it's a 60 range. You'd probably want 65 to 70 if you can get it. Doesn't have a super strong arm. Yeah, I just don't think there's anything here that's telling me not to do this deal. The Matt Lloyd bats left. I mean, just a decent kind of guy probably to have, but you probably, again, with the stats he's put up in AAA, it's not like his bat is even carrying him. He does play a solid defense. Throws right. I think we're going to complete that one again as well. It doesn't, there's really nothing there that we gave up. You know what I mean? Like, we gave up a 21-year-old prospect who I don't think was anything great. Like, it wasn't like, hey, this is an awesome defensive center fielder in case we did something with Rafaela. And this 17-year-old kid, maybe we can develop something out of him, which reminds me at some point, probably in July, there's a few things we'll have to look at. One, obviously the draft. We've got to focus some time there. Not so much on the prep, but we'll just look at some players as the draft is probably going on as to what decisions to make. And then obviously some coaching down in the, A, AA, AAA. AAA I think is fine, but more AA in the A-ball leagues. Really the coaching that we have there. Probably even in the DSL too. Really want to make sure that we have some good coaching in on those spots. So let's see. I want to take a quick look if I can find. I want to take a look at the team chemistry. It's happy right now, which is great. Just want to see the notes here. Led by Connor Wong, we have a good leadership core. Wong has done his best to take control of the room. Clubhouse is still holding it together. Excellent. Outspoken is Chapman. Selfish is Ron Hare. Suarez, Ranger Suarez. I just want to take a quick look. Obviously, Durbin's hurt. We got the rehab assignment. Romy's still on. So he's now starting to really hit the ball. So we should probably think about bringing him up, which I think I might want to do. Maybe I'll do it for the series against the Yankees. Maybe just allow him to continue to play down there. A little bit more rehab time. And then we'll look to make a roster move to bring up Romy for the Yankee series. So let's keep a pin in that, and we'll plan on that once we get to that Thursday set. And we'll find out too on this Sonny Gray injury. I'm hoping that's not going to be really bad news. Game 1 against Colorado, a 4-2 loss. Not great. We tied it, and then they had 2 more runs in the 7th, a run-scoring triple off of Sandoval. So he came in. He had some inherited runners, and he couldn't hold it, unfortunately. Cutter didn't pitch as well in this one, but that's okay. He had been pitching out of his mind early on. So kind of there again, bit by just the offense, just not enough to really carry us forward. Sonny Gray injury diagnosis, yep, mild hamstring strain. He's day-to-day for about 1 week. So day-to-day for a week. I think, again, what I'm going to do is probably just throw him on the IL. I'll see what that looks like, because that would open up a spot easily for Wong to step into. It puts us then at 14-12. We just have 12 pitchers, but we could probably have Sandoval spot start or something of that nature. So we'll take a look at that. But that's kind of what I figured it was going to be. It was just a hamstring strain. Luckily, we probably got bailed out there that it is mild. We'll have to keep an eye on it to make sure that doesn't get any worse in strain or severity. Game 2, another loss, 5-4 loss. This is tough. Here we're playing probably the worst team in baseball. A team that was 19 games under 500 now is only 18. But we've kind of dropped back down to just playing 500 ball. It was 2. We took a lead in the 5th, and then they scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead. Whitlock, actually it was all Suarez, which we should have probably just pulled him out earlier, but all the runs were against were tied against Suarez's stat line, which is unfortunate. They hit a single, probably scored a run there, and then a 2-run double to take the lead, which just stinks. Navarez hit well in this game, but not a lot of offense. Again, bottom of the order, outside of Navarez, was putting up all zeros. So we still got, the offense still is probably not in a position to really be where we would want it to be. Let's go. Let's try to get at least 1 win in this series and a loss. We got swept by the Rockies. Oh, man. That's rough. Oh, that's rough. So we take 2 of 3 against Seattle, which is excellent, and then we go into Colorado and get swept. And an 8-9 loss. And again, in a game like that, you'd hope. We scored 6 runs in the last 2 innings, so we were down the whole game, and then fought ourselves back to be in a spot to, really, we weren't even that close. We just scored 3 in the ninth to really make the game at least somewhat interesting, with Rafael hitting a home run to make the game interesting. But really, for the most part, it was a blowout from the get-go. And here you see Sandoval, and that's why a guy like that could probably spot start for us. But now we've kind of blown out his rest status for a few days because he threw 51 pitches in this game, but pitched really well. 3 1/3, 3 hits, just a K or 1K, no walks though, was really solid. And unfortunately, kind of really got outpitched by Kyle Freeland, which is disappointing. But um, so an interesting thing, Sogard got a little dinged up here. I could maybe even think about putting him on the IL as well. He got hurt throwing the ball with a mild strain too. Mild calf strain, day to day for about 5 days. I think what we'll do, again, we finished up Thursday, so we're now on Thursday. We got a couple guys that are a little bit nicked up. So what we're gonna do is Sogard. I am gonna just throw him on the injured list, the 10-day, and that's gonna create a spot for. Ooh, we don't have a roster spot for Romy currently on the 40-man. Oh goodness, Samniago, Canely at 36. I want to take a look at Canley's contract status. What's he been doing down in AAA? He's been pitching okay, but in all honesty, he's a ground baller. We're going to waive Canely. That creates a spot in the 40-man for Romy. And then we can bring Romy up into the big leagues. I think that makes sense. And now what it's done too is by bringing Romy up onto the big league roster, it's got him playing second base, starting at second, which I think I'm fully okay with. I think that's probably the right move because of the season that he had year before, and he's a good ball player. So I think that works for now. I think Gray, we're just going to let that play out currently. It doesn't influence his throwing. It does influence his running. But my thought is, I'm assuming they're just going to skip him anyway in the rotation, and either Sandoval or Watson would throw a game. I mean, Watson, you probably wouldn't want him to start. Doesn't have a ton of stamina. Obviously, Sandoval does, so it's possible that he could maybe start that game if Gray's still a little nicked. All right, we got to get through this Yankee series. I was hoping we would be carrying in really good momentum into that series, but the sweep against the Rockies has our backs up against the wall here a little bit. Let's take a quick look at the standings, see how things are looking. We're still in that spot in that wild card, so we're still holding strong there with a 1.5 game lead over the Rangers. But there's a lot of teams right in the mix there, so it's not like we got a lot of breathing room by any means. And let's take a quick look at the Yankees. What have they been doing? So they're on a 2-game winning streak. We're still third in the division, so they're right in front of us to try to take advantage of. We're 5-5 in our last 10, so as you can see, we've kind of leveled out here a little bit. And again, maybe we're just playing kind of an 85, 86 win type of ball club right now, which is just a little north of 500. So again, maybe we are what we are at this point. But I'm excited to get Romy back up in this lineup. I think this is going to make us better. He does have a strong bat, good bat power, can put the ball in play, which is excellent. Good contact profile, good base runner, and he's a good guy in the clubhouse. And he can play a pretty solid second base, more of honestly a first baseman, but I don't know if I'd love that power profile at first. I want to take a quick look again just at how some of these players are doing. Tristan Casas, 4 homers, 224, 326, an OPS plus of 108. His BABIP is pretty pathetic. But he is positive WAR. Rafaela still having a strong year. Roman, Marcelo, not a lot out of Meyer, unfortunately. But the roster is what the roster is currently. All right, so a 4-game series. We got Tolley, Warren, Sonny Gray, Max Fried. We'll see how that pans out. Cutter Crawford against Ryan Weathers, and Ronher Suarez against Cam. All right. Well, let's see. This series here could really sway some decisions that we're going to make into July. First game Thursday night here, and we're at Fenway. So we've come home to play Fenway, and we got to win 10-7. So the last 4 games we've played against the Yankees, we have drubbed them. And this one is fantastic. This was actually, we were up quite a bit. They scored 5 in the 8th to make it close, but up until that point we're up 10-2. So we had ourselves in a pretty good spot. The bullpen made it a little bit dicey there, but Chapman came in to close the door in the ninth. And Jazz Chisholm ties the AL season regular season game record for strikeouts with 5. So they picked on old Jazz in this game by striking him out 5 times, which is pretty crazy. Where is he? Oh, the wrong side of the. So he was 0 for 5 with 5 Ks and left 3 men on base. Yikes. That's a day you want to forget. Monasterio with an error. Where did he play? Third, probably? No, he played at short. So in this game, we actually sat down. Looks like we gave a day of rest to Meyer, which is fine. Let's see how Romy did in his first game up. 2 for 4, scored a run, had a ribby, and struck out once. Not bad. But kind of that middle of that lineup, middle to the lower end of the lineup with Navarez, 3 for 4. He's almost up to a 300 batting average. So he has been not only a great battery mate, but he's bringing us some plus stats offensively, which you have to love. Home runs, Rafaela, Casas. Oh, Casas with a home run. I love that for him. Warren got roughed up. Blackburn, they brought him in. He got roughed up. Tolley pitched well enough to get the win. Good deal. Good deal. So that starts us off on a good foot. Friday night game here in Fenway. Another win, 4-1. Now this is more of a classic Red Sox win for 2026 with Cutter Crawford pitching like an ace. Out-dueled Max Fried, who didn't pitch horrible. 7 innings, 3 runs, 3 earned. But again, we handed the ball from our starter right to the closer. So you got to love it when the team is set up to be able to do that. Clean game for both teams. The Yankees did have 1 error, but nothing too crazy. Volpe had an error. Didn't look like that cost any runs to score, but Meyer came in after a day of rest. He played at short, had a walk, 1 hit, run scoring double to start us off in the second, so you got to love that. And then some just hits kind of throughout the lineup. The team played pretty solid. We didn't play Casas at first. We actually started. It looks like they put Connor Wong to start at first, and then Romy went there to kind of play later in the game. So some defensive things that kind of move things around from a lineup perspective with the lefty on the mound and Fried. But it all panned out pretty well. We held Judge. We struck him out 3 times in 4 at-bats. McMahon had 3 hits and 3 at-bats for the Yankees. But so far, so good here in this series. A good bounce-back effort by this team after the sweep in Colorado. Saturday afternoon game, another win, 6-2. So in the last 6 games now against the Yankees, played 3 at Yankee Stadium, swept them. And now we had this 4-game set here in Fenway. We have taken the first 3. So at this point, it's a series win. We're going to at least take 3 or 4. Things are looking really well for us. And what this has done so far, even in the standings, is inched us, much closer now to them, even within the division, where they're only 7 games above 500 and we're 2. So it's what is that, 2.5 games back now in that spot in the division. Obviously, the Rays are just running away with things right now, currently. But this is excellent so far. I want to take just a quick look at this box score. Dominguez had a nice game for them with 2 hits, but otherwise pretty sporadic. Romy Gonzalez, 3 for 4 with 4 ribbies. Excellent. He hit 2 home runs in this game. Was that? Yeah, isn't that 2 home runs for us? Romy Gonzalez, home runs, just 1, it looks like. Oh, I read it wrong. So in the bottom of the 3rd, Romy Gonzalez hit a 2-run home run off of Weathers. In the 5th, he came up and hit a 2-run double. That makes sense. So a double and a home run for Romy, drives in 4 of the 6 that we scored on the day. So he's come up and been an immediate spark plug offensively for this team. Be curious to see what his OPS is so far. So you can see here, 3 games played, 12 plate appearances. He's already got a half a WAR, and he's throwing up a 336 WRC plus. You gotta love that if you can get it, no matter how short a duration it is. Gave Ronher Suarez plenty of insurance from the runs perspective for him to pitch 6 strong. We handed the ball off to Weiser and then Whitlock. So really nice Saturday game, 6-2 dub. We now go into Sunday Night Baseball to finish off this series, and let's sweep them. Game save, weekly save, and a 4-6 loss. That's okay. Take 3 out of 4. You got to do it, or you'd love to do it. They scored 3 in the 9th, which is unfortunate. We actually had the game. We had the lead, I should say, being up 4-3. Through the 8th, we went probably to the closer, and unfortunately Chapman got nicked with Spencer Jones. Looks like they had the bases loaded. They drew a walk to get a run in, and then Spencer Jones hit a bases clearing double. So which is interesting there is that's lefty and left. So good work out of Jones. Pinch hitted, I think, in that spot to be in a position. I mean, that's quite a tough at bat in a sense, but he got to us, which is unfortunate. Connolly early pitched really well. Quite a few walks. Don't love that, but struck out 10 in 6 innings. Cologne pitched really well, and unfortunately Chapman just got nicked. 3 walks, 1 K. Not ideal. Just that 1 hit off of Jones, but it was the one that really hurt us. Which is unfortunate when you have the chance to close out that series with a sweep and Chapman gets nicked, but it does happen. It's the game of baseball. But an excellent kind of finish there. It'll be interesting to see if Gray pitches in this game. He, I think, is still a little bit nicked up. So we'll see day-to-day wise if he does throw this game. I want to see what else we have from an injury perspective. Durbin looks like he's still a little nicked with that abdominal muscle. We got Oviedo on a rehab assignment. I just want to take a quick look at the stats he's throwing up. Nothing crazy. So I don't think we need to do any roster moves as we start this series. I just want to again take a quick look. We have a full set there. And let's see who we got against the Nationals. So Gray, DJ Hers, Peyton Tolley, Little, and then Cutter Crawford against Max Kranick. The Nationals are 43 and 42. We're like 42 and 41. That's what we are. So two teams kind of right on the cusp. Obviously, the Nationals have been more in a rebuilding kind of focus the last couple of years, have some good prospects and such, and are playing some positive ball this year. So we can't take this series for granted. We are traveling down to Washington to play this series. No, it's a home series. Apologize. We are at home, so they're coming to Fenway to take us on. So let's finish off these two games. Let's get into the month of July and see how we end up June. Obviously, it's been a really positive month for us at 17 and 8, a positive 9 in the win column. Would love to add a few more wins to that if we can. And we do 4-3. So we get a W in our first game. Durbin's ready to come back off of the IL. I am unsure if I want to bring him up. I think, unfortunately, what's going to be the story for Durbin, again, just because the offense has not been as expected or as advertised. You can love his spark plug personality, but I think, unfortunately, what the story is going to be currently for Durbin is I'm going to demote him to AAA. I don't think he's going to love that, but I think it is what it is right now. I can't really, Durbin, Yoshida, I got to keep him on the roster unless I'm just going to eat the money. I don't think anybody's going to be a trade chip for a guy like that. So it's kind of just a rock and a hard place, unfortunately, right now for Durbin. But 4-3 win for this team. Very excellent. We had the lead pretty much the whole way. We just scored. It was 3-3. They tied it up in the 8th there. So we scored a run in the bottom of the 9th. Casas with a run-scoring single to walk us off of Clayton Beater, former Yankee prospect. So very nice. What happened to Tolley? That's not good. Peyton Tolley was injured throwing the ball. But you can see here the benefit of having a guy like Sandoval in our bullpen is the fact that he is basically like a spot starter. Has that really long endurance, can throw. Here he threw 100 pitches, like on the ring of a bell. Like, hey, buddy, got to come in and get us some innings. And he did a nice job for us. Totally hurt. Looks like it's just a mild calf strain day to day. But something enough that nicked him to where he couldn't finish out that start. But it doesn't look to be anything with the arm or anything, which is very positive for us. All right, last game here in the month of June. And it looks like it was a loss, and I didn't pay any attention to what just came up on the screen, but I think we had an injury or something. We'll have to see what that was all about. But yeah, we did lose. It looks like we're still on that day, so it's going to be something that we're going to have to make a decision on. Oh, it's Crawford got hurt. Oh, strained forearm for Crawford. He is out 2 weeks, moderate to the throwing. So yeah, I think this is definitely going to be an IL stint for him, unfortunately, which is just a setback. He had come up and pitched so well for us. Not wowing anything from a stat perspective. It's not like he's striking out a large percent of folks, but he's not walking the yard. So he's really down on the walks per 9 to what he was historically. And his home run per 9 is minimal. So he's really just not allowing the long ball, which is really helping out his profile. Because he doesn't have really a good home run suppression. So he's just been pitching over his skis. So just a little unfortunate that we're going to have to put him on the injured list. We probably will want to bring up somebody to take his spot. I think what we'll do, is it's going to be Oviedo. again, has decent stamina. I don't think he's a starter per se. I mean, we'll see what the coaching staff wants to do. But I think that's just the easy thing to do right there is just bring up Oviedo. And then what I'm going to do, I actually am not going to ask for, I think I am just going to put Oviedo. His stamina is 45. What's he have for stuff? He's got a good fastball slider. He's got a good arsenal. I think I do. He does strike out some guys. He had the 22% strikeout rate in the minors. What's his control? 45. I think I will put him just because we have so many lefties already in the rotation. I am going to put him in our 5 spot currently. We'll keep Sandoval then in the bullpen. And we'll look to rock with that currently. But a loss here, 5-3. Crawford, again, back-to-back days where our starter only gets through the first inning. That's just rough. Injury bug is starting to rear its ugly head with this roster, which is unfortunate. So that just puts you in a tough spot when you have to start going through your bullpen in the second inning and find guys that can get you some length. It just sets us up for some long days. So let's see how we finished out. June, 18-9. Boy, you gotta love it when you're +9 in a month. That's excellent. That's exactly what this team needed to win. 2/3 of the games in the month of June. Puts us in a really solid spot as we move ahead to the following month. Let's take also just a quick look at the standings. Blue Jays have now tied us, theoretically, for the wild card spot, so they're playing really good ball. They've on a 6-game winning streak, so they're just playing really solid ball right now. But the Guardians are right there. They're kind of slipping, so it could be Toronto, Red Sox, and the Yankees on that wild card spot. So it could be a very AL East heavy wild card contention. We should be able to finish this day. Peyton Tolley, pitcher of the month. That's awesome. Good job, Peyton. So let's finish off this series. We'll also sim the Thursday day, and then we'll put a save. We'll put a pin in this episode, and then we'll set the stage to get us through to the All-Star break. I'm not sure exactly when that first-year player draft is. Probably should actually be able to see the date. It is the 11th, so it is on this weekend here. So we'll probably get ourselves right up until that day, and then we'll have the draft episode or a draft episode, and then we'll get through the playoffs. We'll get through the All-Star break, and then we'll come back and see where things are for this team as we continue to make a run here in 2026. So let's finish off this series. I'll win nice. So we take 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. The bats came out, played really well. Top of the lineup, had a nice day. Casas with 3 ribbies, Anthony with a home run, and Casas with a home run for us. And then Ranger Suarez, which is exactly what we needed in this game. Pitched 7 strong, struck out 11, just 1 walk, and then we went to Justin Slayton for 2 innings, which is excellent. That's exactly what this team needed. That bullpen was taxed. So we'll sim here Thursday as well. We got Canely designated for assignment. We're just going to drop him down to AAA. He cleared waivers. Still around, still in the organization, but no one picked him up. And Tolley, there it is. Oh, this is Mike Trout, best hitter in June. Peyton Tolley. June, 3-2, 6 starts, 29 base hits, struck out 32 and 33 and 2/3 innings with the 2.67 ERA. Love it. And I don't think the day actually proceeded because of that. Yep, there we go. Now we're through Now we're on Friday, July 3rd now, and we got a 3-game series against the Angels. What would be really interesting to do in this series is trade for Trout and just be like, hey, come over to the other side of the clubhouse. But I don't know if that'll be anything that we'll be able to do, unfortunately, with our current payroll status and budget availability. I just don't have a ton of money available for the team to make a move like that, but it would be oh so interesting to be able to do so. But again, a good start. Team has continued to play, again, relatively well. We had that excellent June, taking advantage of the month that we had. Again, 18-9 in that month. Just really 2 series losses the entire month with that unfortunate sweep against the Rockies, but the team brushed that off pretty quick to take 3-4 against the Yankees. So again, we're set up pretty well. 2 games above 500. We now got the month of July. We got the All-Star break in here, first player draft, and then we can see if there's some decisions that we make with some of the key folks on this roster. Do we continue to make a big, deep dive run in 2026? Obviously, the owner, John Henry, wants us to win now, so he's got the clamps on Breslow to say, hey, I've gotten you the money, the roster, to make a run at it. So we'll see if we can carry that momentum forward in our next episode. Thanks all.